following me over here, then guess what? That means you're an OG, baby. Yes, you are. And if you're new, welcome. I'm so happy you decided to join us on this crazy ride. I do apologize for the lighting being off. My ring light is currently broke. We are going to try to fix that. And if we can't fix it, which when I say we, I mean my husband and I. And if we can't fix it, then I will be investing in a new ring light. So, long time no see, huh? I'm sorry about that. I am going to get back on track with the YouTube videos every Friday. And today I have a story time. Well, really about how my son was born. So, without further delay, let's get on into it. Okay, so with my pregnancy with my son, it was very bad. I stayed sick constantly for the first 6 months. So it was definitely a roller coaster. I wasn't like that with my daughter. I only stayed sick with her with morning sickness for like the first 3 months. But with my son, I was constantly sick. And I ended up having an emergency C-section with him. So I still don't know why he came early, because if you did not know, he was born a month early. I still don't know if he came early from the fight that my ex and I had, and he had pushed me into the dryer washer area, or if it was from us having makeup sex. Because, of course, you know, when couples get in fights, they end up having makeup sex. And obviously, if I was pushed into a washer or dryer, I can't remember if it was a dryer or washer. It was one of them two. Obviously, tempers had flared too much, but then shortly after that, we ended up making up and having sex. Well, then I'm sitting there cleaning and everything else in the house. You know how you are when you're pregnant. For those of you who have children, you're in that little nesting period for the last month, a couple of months or whatnot. So I'm cleaning real good, and I'm in so much pain. Like, pain just overcomes me. And it just felt like my back was hurting. So I really didn't think it was contractions or anything like that, because it just felt like extreme lower back pain. So I go lay down in the bedroom, and I'm in so much pain to the point that I'm crying. And I take a nap, and I wake up, and it's about midnight or so, and I realized the pain was becoming more intense at certain periods. And I'm like, am I in labor? Because with my daughter, I didn't go in labor, so I didn't know what it felt like. I had been induced with my daughter because she was a week late. So I'm like, I'm telling my ex, I'm like, I need you to time this. And he times it, and I'm 2 minutes apart every time for the contractions. I'm like, I'm in labor. We've got to get to the hospital, and we've got to get there now. I was freaking out because it wasn't even time for him to come. So I'm thinking something's seriously wrong. We get to the hospital, and the nurse there pissed me off, to be quite honest with you, because she said that my son was in distress. And she's like, I need to know right now, are you on any drugs? Are you on any drugs? I said no. And she's like, are you sure? Are you sure? And she was honestly treating me like crap. I looked at her, I said, I'm not on fucking drugs. Y'all are going to drug test me anyways when the baby comes, and you're going to see. When I tell you I got bitchy, I got bitchy. She didn't say another word about it, though. So we're in there, and my ex, I had already told him, I'm like, don't look at me. And he goes to glance at me anyways, and I'm in so much pain, and I go, don't look at me. Like Satan coming out of me or something. He didn't look again. But anyways, so I'm freaking out, and they're like, you gotta push. You've gotta push. And I'm sitting there pushing with all my might, and it's not working. It's not working. They're like, we've got to get the baby out now. If you don't get the baby out, we're going to have to do an emergency C-section. And I'm like, no, I don't want a C-section. Well, the doctor ends up saying, you're going to have a C-section, and he leaves to go, I guess, get the anesthesiologist and all them the nurse who is left there with me with the other nurses, she's like, look, she goes, I know you don't want a C-section, so we're going to try to push this baby out while the doctor's gone. She goes, but if you can't, we're going to have to do a C-section. And I'm pushing and I'm pushing, and I just finally give up. I have no more will to push. I'm like, just cut me open. I swear I did. I'm like, just cut me open. Get my baby out. So they rushed me into the operating room, and the only person that's allowed in there is my ex, which I'm pretty sure he was the only one at the hospital with me anyways at that time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure nobody came until that morning or whatever. And he gets all geared up or whatever, and they cut me open. And next thing you know, you can hear our son cry, and we're both crying or whatever. And he has looked over the little sheet they have hanging up right there to, you know, keep me separated from seeing all that or whatever. My ex had looked over there, and he got to see my inside. He's like, oh my God, I see your insides. I'm like, yeah, that's typically what happens when they cut you open. In your stomach, you can probably see stuff. But we were both really proud or whatnot. And then we found out Skylar had swallowed his bowel movement. Oh, and I messed up on this. God, I feel like an idiot too. Honestly, I had said my son was born at what did I say, 5:15 in one of my videos. That is incorrect. I got his time of birth mixed up with someone who had recently had a baby, and that's what time her baby was born, and I wasn't thinking, and it just came out. And then when I got his birth certificate, it said 8:14 a.m. on there, and I'm like, oh my God, didn't I say 5:15 in that video? So I felt like an idiot on that video, honestly, so I deleted it, but I want to let y'all know it was 8:14 a.m. Anyway, so he has swallowed his bowel movement, and he's not doing so good at first. They put him in the NICU, and I was at the hospital. They were going to let me stay at the hospital for as long as Skylar was in there. They were trying to let me stay there. My ex wanted me to come home, though, and he promised me if I came home that he would take me up there every day. I could spend as long as I wanted, all that, because I didn't want to go home. I'm like, I'm not going home. I'm staying here with our son. He was like, I promise, I'll bring you up here. I'll bring you up here. Now, remind you, before I went in labor and had our son, I had cleaned the house. He's like, I got a surprise for you when you come home. I'm going to cook for you. I'm going to do this, that, and the other. So, I'm like, okay, I'll come home, but you have to take me up to this hospital. Yeah, he did cook me a steak dinner with shrimp and stuff, but when I come home, my house was a disaster. Like, you couldn't even tell I had cleaned it up. And then he was slacking on taking me to the hospital. So I'm like, no, fuck you. Excuse my language. Fuck you, though. I'm going to call the Ronald McDonald House. I'm about to be up there with my baby. I didn't come home for this bull crap. So I called the Ronald McDonald House and figure out how I can get in there. They let me come stay there free of charge. They do ask that if you can, when you leave, you donate something, but if you can't, you don't have to. So they let me stay there free of charge so I can be right there at the hospital with my son. And he had a little jaundice, so they had him under little purple white and stuff for a little while. And he's a little trooper because he came out stronger than ever. He was out of the hospital after a week of being there. After swallowing his bowel movement and a lung collapsing and all that, he got to go home a week later. He's a soldier just like his mama. And now you couldn't even tell that he was born early because he's tall and he's big, and I'm so proud to call him my son. And I'm so proud to call my daughter my daughter. I got very lucky with him too. They're good kids. And, yeah, so that is the story of how my son was born. I didn't want to make it a long, drawn-out story, so it's sort of short. But, people are wanting to hear it, so there it is. Yeah. If y'all want to hear a story of how my daughter was born, I'd be more than happy to tell y'all. Just let me know in the comments below. Since we're back on track with videos now, we will be having more serious story times coming up about my past, how DCS got involved the second time in my life. If you don't know, I am a recovering addict of 8.5 years, with the exception of one relapse that happened in 2014. And I have had DCS involved in my life, not once, but twice. The story time on how DCS got involved the first time is here on my YouTube channel, so be sure to check that out. If you're not following me on TikTok, what are you doing? Join the fam. Bam, I will leave both of my TikTok accounts linked in the description. If you don't know, we are having a waffle, which is actually a RAFFLE for a shirt. And then after we announce the winner on Halloween, we'll be having some more waffles with different shirts, gift cards, makeup. So make sure you get in on that and scroll through the videos and you will see how to enter. The entries are $5 a piece. You can enter as much as you want. Your name will go on the wheel for each entry you place, and the wheel is going to decide who the winner is. If you're not following me here on YouTube, you might as well do it since you're already here and all. You feel me? Go ahead, click that follow button. Click it. Click it. And then click the little bell with post notifications so you never miss a beat. Period. Thank you all who support me, who watch my YouTube videos, who watch my TikTok videos. It means a lot to me, and each and every one of you have become a major part of my life. Y'all are important to me. This family is important to me. Always know that. Until next time.